All right, so we are recording. And so I officially want to welcome everybody to Wake Up Happy Masterclass. I'm really excited to be here with you today and to share some insights and goodness. And when I was thinking about where I wanted to set myself up today for the class, I couldn't think of a better place than to be outside. It's one of my favorite places that brings me a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. And I mean, it's warm here in Canada right now in Barrie, Ontario. Yesterday it was like 34 degrees Celsius. Today, right now, already at 10 in the morning, it's 30 degrees. And so I'm loving it. It feels like summertime. I feel like I'm back in Barbados. It's just brilliant. I'm loving it so much. And so I had to plug in my headset here. So I'm hoping that the wind doesn't muffle the sound too much. Yeah, we're good? Okay, awesome. Oh, you're going to get to see Aria quickly. And they're coming back from their wagon ride. I was just sharing with everybody before we started the recording that we've been having a lot of fun outdoors. Aria's obsessed with her wagon right now, and so Gabriel took her for a little walk. And you want to say hi and good morning to everybody? You say good morning. You say good morning, everybody. Yeah, she says, I don't have any blueberries on my face today. Hey, honey? No, we don't have blueberries on our face today. So in my Facebook post this morning, I said, it's kind of hard to wake up and not feel happy when this little bun is around because, she still sleeps in our room. She sleeps in her own little bed. Yeah. But in the morning, usually between like 4 and 7, she wakes up and then we go pick her up and we bring her into bed with us. And so when I get to wake up in the morning, Gabriel and I, we get to look over between us and we've got this snuggly little bunny, this ray of sunshine smiling back at us. So excited for the day. So it definitely helps in terms of waking up happy. Hey, little bun? Yeah. So I want to officially welcome everybody. You want to go hang out with Daddy for a bit? She might want milk. Yeah. You're going to have some milk? So we're going to talk about waking up happy, but I do want to officially welcome you all. I'm grateful that you're able to be here, whether you're here live or whether you're listening to the replay. If you have any questions throughout our time together, you can type them in the chat box. You can unmute yourself. You can turn your video on. You can have it off, whatever feels best to you. I know Andrea mentioned she's down in Australia, so she's getting ready for bed and all tucked in. So if you don't feel like you want to turn your video on, you don't have to, but it's totally up to you. I love seeing people's faces and love interacting. If you do have questions, though, please let me know because I want this to be an interactive class for you. I want you to get the most out of it that you possibly can. I'm going to share with you some of my best practices for being able to wake up happy, some things that I've found really, really work over time. And I have tried everything you could possibly imagine under the sun. And so I've distilled it down over time. I'm also going to share some other stories from other people that I've worked with, who've worked with me, who've been a part of my world for a number of years now, because it's always great when we get to hear and learn from each other too, in terms of how we wake up happy, because we all have our stories and our life and our journeys. And I think we all have so much to share with one another and we get to learn from one another, which is really cool. And I'm going to share a meditation at the very, very end. I love meditation. It's one of my favorite tools. And so I'm going to share a quick little meditation just to, for those that are on the Australian side of the world, probably to drift you off into slumber sleep so you can wake up happy tomorrow morning. For those of you that are on Eastern Standard Time or Pacific Standard Time or wherever you are in the world, maybe to set the tone for your day so that you can bring that happiness into your day today. And I'm also going to share with you how you guys can continue to get some additional support. So I'm going to be sharing all of that throughout our time together. I'm probably going to talk really fast because I want to cover a lot of information. I want to give you a lot of goodness. So if you have any questions, or if you're like, whoa, girlfriend, slow down, can you repeat that? Just let me know. Just give a little chat or say hi or whatever. Okay, so some of the things I'm going to be covering are the key elements to waking up happy. I hear this question a lot from people in terms of how to have happiness or how to get to happiness or how to maintain happiness, especially in the world when we're constantly distracted, right? Like I think about our day-to-day experiences. We've got external distractions, we've got internal distractions, we've got the ego's distractions, we've got our limited self, we've got our past self, we've got there's just so much that gets thrown at us on a regular basis. And so for us to maintain our center and maintain our truth, it is a practice, and it is a choice. And I think that there are days where it's easier than others. I know even for myself, there are definitely times in the past when waking up happy was way easier. Like, for example, when I was doing my yoga teachers training in Costa Rica, where I was surrounded by, love and beauty and the tropics and healthy food, and I didn't have to cook. And, I was also 30 at the time. And so very little responsibilities. I wasn't married. I definitely didn't have kids then, and so it was very easy to wake up and be like, oh, I'm in bliss, And the same thing when we were in Barbados this past winter for 5 weeks, it was very easy to wake up happy there too. I think sometimes, for me anyways, the external environment can be really either conducive to helping me wake up happy. And then, I think about Canada in the wintertime, and, the months just seem to drag on in terms of winter and the grayness. And I think seeing that every day, I definitely recall times in my journey when it wasn't so easy to wake up and be like, yay, look outside. And you're like, it's minus 40 degrees and I have to stay inside again all day. It's like, you're not really motivated to get up, wash your hair and put your clothes on. You just want to stay in your pajamas and drink hot tea and hot chocolate and coffee all day long to stay warm, and cuddle up, right? Yeah. It's not really conducive to being like, hey, world, here I am, right? And so I think that it's important for us to really look at, the first thing is to look at, where do we thrive the most? Where are those environments? Not to say that always the external environment is going to be the dictator of that. I definitely think, there's that saying, happiness is an inside job. And I totally agree with that. I'm just saying sometimes there are certain external situations or external things we could have around us that could definitely help. There are helpers, there are tools. And so for me, when I am here in the wintertime, I have lots of plants. I've brought them outside now, but I have lots of plants that I have indoors. I love crystals so much, so I bring crystals around. I have really awesome music that I love listening to regularly. And so I have those things that, on an external level are my tools. They're my helpers. So I think it's important for us to think about, what are your personal high points where you feel really good, where you feel in alignment, and how can you bring some of that external stuff into your day-to-day world? So whether it's plants, whether it's healthy eating, whether it's music you love, whether it's movement, whether it's meditation, I really want you to start thinking about what are the external things that help bring you joy, because that is an important piece too. And then we're going to talk a lot about the internal stuff. I had to make myself some notes so I stay on track today. Yes. Okay. So part of it for me is, this whole concept of waking up happy. I shared with some of you in the past before, but some of you are new to me. And I should actually introduce myself, because some of you are brand new to me and are just discovering who I am. I think that's a good place to start too. So my name is Tara Antler, and I am an intuitive healer, and I'm a soul coach and a spiritual teacher, advisor. I've been in this world of spiritual healing and energy and all that awesome, amazing stuff for a long, long time. Officially as a business for 15 years. And I help men and women all around the world get clarity, access their inner gifts, access the higher self, and not just be able to access it and tune into it, but to really be able to bring it down, embody it, live it. I teach a lot of workshops. I have a lot of training programs with some of my students. Riva's here. I teach a lot of online classes now as well, which I'm really excited about, especially having a little girl in the mix. Time is different these days for any of you that do have children. I would say for those of you that don't have children, create and live as much as you possibly can before you bring babies into the mix. They're awesome when you have children. However, your time is very, very different. Doesn't matter how well organized you are, your time is different when you have babies. And so now that I have, probably a good 4 workable hours in a day, I'm really grateful to do these masterclasses online. I have a channeling circle that I do every Monday. We've had, I think it's been the 3rd round in 6 weeks each time. So that's been really fun. I do a lot of live events in Toronto. I also run retreats. We have one coming up in Sedona, which I'm really excited about. Riva's been on one of our retreats in Mexico. Andrea's been on one of our retreats in Barbados, and I think Jess is coming on the call. She's joining us in Sedona. So there's so much that I get to do. And I think the basis of it, because whenever somebody asks me, what do you do? I'm like, oh my God, it's so big, right? Like there's so much that I do. And the same thing with my husband, we get to collaborate together. But I think the foundation of it for me is really being of service to people. And for me, really being present and showing up as my highest self, as my soul self. And when I do that, I feel like there's just this beautiful space that's held for the people that come into our circle and our world, and they get to light up and they get to heal and clear and transform and, access that highest version of themselves. Because really, I've lived life when I have been in alignment, and I've lived life when I haven't been in alignment. And I can definitely say being in alignment with your highest truth, being in alignment with your highest self is 100% essential to everything, to waking up happy, to being abundant, to being in the flow, to having life work for you. That is like my number one key essential element to all of it, is to really be in alignment. And being in alignment sometimes is easier said than done, especially when we have those external things that come at us. But that's where having support is really helpful as well. Having community that you get to connect with each other, having those plug-in points where you're like, whoa, I've totally like gone off the rails here. I've totally forgotten what the hell I'm doing here today. I don't even know what my life is about anymore. That's when we need to have those regular touch points. We need to have that time where we're connecting in and up. Because when we do, whether that's through meditation, dance, going out into nature, connecting with the community, whatever it is that allows us to have a spiritual practice, it's so important. It's the very thing that helps you feel connected, especially when we don't feel connected, especially when we feel lost, especially when we feel confused. And so when I look back at my journey and I think about the times when I was in alignment and I was waking up naturally happy, there were definitely some things that I was doing in my life that I wasn't doing when I wasn't waking up happy. And there's some major times that really stand out for me when I wasn't feeling my greatest. And I can't say that anything bad was really happening around me. It was just like life felt kind of mundane. I didn't feel overly creative. I didn't feel overly in the flow. There could have been, I run so many energetic clearings on myself all the time that it's hard for me to recall the crappy past things that have happened, because I don't want to keep that in my field, and I don't want to keep that in my consciousness. So I've cleared it so much to the point that most of the time I don't even remember half the crazy ass things that have happened over time. But I can say there was this one moment, excuse me, Gabriel and I were living in Innisfil, which is just south of here in Barrie. And it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And sometimes Gabriel and I would sleep on the pull-out couch in the living room, because we had these huge, huge windows in that house, and the moonlight would stream in. And we had a fireplace, which was really beautiful. And so sometimes we just did something fun and spontaneous and romantic, and we would just sleep on the pull-out couch. And the moonlight was shining in that night. We had the fire on. It was wintertime. And that could have been part of it too. It was like right in the thick of winter, and I hadn't gone down south that year. And I remember saying to him, I just really want to wake up and feel good. I want to wake up and feel happy. I don't want to wake up and do umpteen practices and umpteen things just before my feet even have to hit the ground, because I had learned all these practices. And I remember when I did my yoga teachers training, they talked a lot about, making sure you have your practice and maintaining your yoga practice daily and things like that, which, I have maintained my yoga practice, but I haven't maintained it daily. And especially now having a baby. And so I found that, over time, I was just like, how do I do all of this? Like, I have this whole checklist of all these things that I have to do right out of the gates in order for me to wake up happy. Can I just wake up happy? Can I just open my eyes and be like, yay, life is awesome? And, I'm going to share with you again, my best practices for being able to do that. But in that moment, when I talk to Gabriel about it, sometimes just voicing it for me helps bring in new clarity. And so when I said that, I threw it out, to him, and all of a sudden I just closed my eyes, and he didn't say anything. He just held space for me, which, I think a really great practitioner, healer, mentor, that's what we get to do, is hold space for each other. All of a sudden this insight came in, and I heard, my higher self saying to me, you can. It's just, you're really filled up right now. You're filled up with a lot of stuff. You're filled up with a lot of stuff from your past. You're filled up with a lot of what you learned, and not everything that we learned serves us. And my higher self was saying, okay, you need to just let go. You need to release everything you know. And I was like, what? Release everything I know? I'm like, I've cultivated everything that I've learned, everything that I've taken, every course, every workshop, everything that I've ever done. I have, created my sense of self out of everything that I've done. And now you're telling me to let go of everything. It was not so easy to consider. And on the other hand, not even knowing how to do that. So that was my next question. I said, okay, well, I'm open to doing this. I'm open to practicing this because I need to do something different. I said, so how do you want me to do that? And they said, you just have to make a choice. You have to make a choice to just let go. You have to let go inside of yourself. You have to stop holding on. You have to stop the story. And this is where it was a huge shift for me in terms of the stories of my past. And we all have a story. We all have stuff that's happened to us. We all have things, and we will continue to have stories as we live life. We'll continue to have history behind us as we live life. However, sometimes that history and those stories hinder us because we hold on to them and we keep thinking about them. We keep reliving them and we keep retelling them and we keep talking about it. We keep, and it just keeps repeating. The cycle keeps repeating. And so part of the letting go was also releasing my history and making a conscious choice to not overly repeat the crappy things that had happened to me. And that was really challenging, especially in today's world. Everybody, publishing a book. And I remember publishers saying, well, you need to bring more of the drama back in. You got to bring more of the story back in if you want this to be successful. And I was like, I don't know if I want to bring all the drama in. I don't know if I want hundreds or thousands or even millions of people reading these stories about my history and breathing life into them for me. I don't want that. I wouldn't want that for anybody. So why would I do that to myself? And so in that moment, I was still, and I took a deep breath. I closed my eyes and I said, okay, Spirit Source Creator, I release everything I know. And I ask that you just release it from me. And I literally felt in that moment an energy come in and just and do a clean sweep. And I went to sleep that night, not thinking about much, just giving myself permission to let go, giving myself permission to release, giving myself permission to release the stories from my past. And I literally felt like while I was sleeping, I was having a cleansing going on from my guides, from my higher self. Sorry, my throat's a little scratchy this morning. And when I woke up the next morning, I remember waking up and I looked over at Gabriel and I felt giddy. I actually felt giddy for the first time in a really long time. And he looked at me and he's like, what are you smiling at? He's like, I don't know. I just feel really giddy this morning. I said, maybe the practice worked. Maybe it was my state of mind. Maybe it's because I made a choice. Maybe it's because all this healing happened. Maybe it's because I let go of the story. I have no idea. But whatever went on last night, it totally worked. And I felt this sense of freedom and I felt this sense of ease. And that carried on for months. And then, of course, life happens and probably something else, whatever came up in my world that was like, and then I had to go back to my practice. And then I was like, okay, remind myself. And I think it's a really great practice to get into, to empty yourself regularly. So whether that means making a conscious choice within yourself, whether that means, getting help to clear out whatever it is, whether that means asking your higher self or your guides or whoever works with you on an energetic level to come in regularly and clean house. It's kind of like cleaning our physical house, right? Or cleaning the backyard. We have to take out the trash in order for it to be clean and smelling good, right? And I think it's the same thing with us. We have to do internal cleansing. We have to do internal clearing regularly, especially when the crap is hitting the fan, especially when we're reaching those points in our life where we're being asked to grow, because that's really what the pain points are about. It's not to screw up our life, it's to help us grow. And so when those times come, it's really important for us to clean house, to release and let go of whatever we've stored up inside of ourselves. So I would say that's number one. Number one is making that conscious choice to release and let go of what you know and to allow the infinite flow to wash through you and wash over you. And I didn't plan what we were going to do for the meditation today. I always like to intuitively feel it out as we're going along the day. And I feel like that would be a really fun meditation to do today if you guys are open to that. So that's what we're going to do at the very end. We'll do a little cleansing, rinsing, and just releasing to the divine flow again. And so in that moment of release, we get to reconnect. We get to feel the divine essence running through us. And then, of course, it'll carry through us for a good while. And then life happens. And this is where these other tips and tools and practices that I'm going to share with you right now come in handy. How's everybody feeling out there first? I just want to do a little check-in. Anybody have any thoughts? Anybody have any questions? I'm going to mute myself for 1 second because I want to cough and I don't want to cough in your ear. Okay, how y'all feeling? Any thoughts, any questions? Keep on rolling. Yeah, keep on rolling. Okay. Oh yes, the other thing I want to mention is anything that creates further confusion or turmoil or cuts us off or limits us is not from the soul, and it's coming from the ego. So what I mean by that is not everything that we've learned serves us. I mentioned that quickly. And I just want to touch on that a little bit more because I think we're a society that we learn a lot, right? We take a lot of courses, we take a lot of workshops, we read a lot, we see a lot, we take in so much. Even when we think we're not taking in, even when we got the TV on in the background, even when we have the radio on in the background, we take in so much. And even if you're listening to certain audios, if there's certain things you resonate with, people are like, great, I resonate with this. And then other things, you know, you're like, ooh, I'm not sure about that. You're still taking it in because your subconscious mind records everything, 100%. Records everything. So imagine if you're walking through life, your subconscious mind is recording everything, taking in everything. Now think about that for a moment. Like just think about your whole life, walking through life, conversations you hear out on the sidewalk, things you've taken in through TV programs, audios, courses. Just think about the input that you've taken in your life. If we don't do internal cleansing and clearing, and we don't do that release work, think about how filled up your subconscious actually is. And your subconscious affects every part of you, by the way. It affects your mood, it affects your patterns, it affects your pathways, it affects your choices that you make subconsciously. It affects everything. We are full, like filled up to the point where we're like bursting at the seams. So this is where, you know, I want you to be really mindful as well as to what you listen to and what you take in on a regular basis. If you hear anything or take in anything that creates disruption, creates turmoil, creates friction, creates confusion, creates conflict within you, I want you to dial it down, turn it off, or clear it energetically, or set the intention to release it, because that stuff plays on our ego, and the ego is what we need to keep at bay, right? Because the ego, and when all the stuff happens in our world, the ego is what really flares up and starts to wreak havoc in our life. And if we really want to keep the ego being like, okay, dude, you got to like chill out, we need to not feed it. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes? Any questions about that? Hi, Jess. I'm at work and I have to host a meeting. Patty, okay. Oh, no problem. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Patty. I really appreciate it. I'm going to send you lots of love, okay? Have a great day at work. So what I'm saying is I want you to be really mindful as to what you take in, what you listen to, what you saturate your field with. Because whatever you're taking in, your subconscious is recording it 100% of the time. So if it doesn't have you feeling good, if it doesn't leave you feeling elevated, if it doesn't leave you feeling like you can connect or you feel alive, it's that source of what you're taking in, that source of information is not coming from the soul or the higher self. It's coming from some other place, wherever, whatever we want to call it. And the reason why I bring this up is because I had a client the other day, amazing young girl under 25. She's studying to be a healer with some other people, and she's really wanting to step in. And she was talking about these different things that she's learned, and it was leaving her feeling really disempowered, really low, not in a good space. And so I said this very thing to her. I said, I want you to just be aware of whatever you take in, whatever teachings you hear. Not everything you hear out there is based on highest truth. A lot of things have been have come down and have gone through the filters of the human mind. And a lot of things are coming from the ego self. And how you know the difference is if it lets you feel good, if something that you take in, something you experience has you feeling great, elevated, connected, you know for sure it's coming from the higher self. If you're taking in something that leaves you feeling low vibration, whether it's a teaching, whether it's the news, whether it's whatever, conversations that you hear around you or you're having, and it leaves you feeling low vibration, you know for certain it's coming from somewhere other than the ego soul self. It's most likely coming from the ego. And we need to start making a choice as to where we want to live from. Do we want to live from the higher self, or do we want to live from the ego self? And once we start making that choice and we make that distinction, we want to be very mindful as to what we're inputting, what we're taking in. I hope that makes sense to you guys, because that's one of another one of my top steps, tips, whatever you want to call it, is to make a conscious choice to align with your highest self every day. So that means doing what you need to spiritually to connect. That means being aware of what you're taking in around you. That means whatever you're hearing, whatever you're dialing into, whatever you're taking in, ingesting, digesting, is it aligned with your higher self? Does it allow you to feel good? If not, we might want to do some release around that or dial it down, because again, remember, everything is being recorded by your subconscious mind. Okay, on with the show. Any questions, any thoughts? If you guys have anything, just type it in the thing or be like, hey, Tara, I got a question, and then we'll unmute you if you have a question about anything at all. All right, so some of the things that continue to flow for me in terms of these practices, I'm going to share them step by step with you guys. So these are the core elements, essential elements for waking up happy. You got to choose a spiritual practice that fits into your life. So it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not going to tell you what your spiritual practice is, because everybody is different. Everybody gravitates towards different things. Some people like to paint. Some people like to sing. Some people like to dance. Some people like to go to church and communities. Some people like to connect to Spirit Source Creator God outside. Some people like to play. Some people like to, you know what I mean? Like, there's literally 1,001 things that you could engage in that help you with your spiritual practice. Yesterday, 2 young girls, teenage girls, maybe about 16, came to the door and said, hi, we're here with the Baptist Church. We have a few questions. Do you have a few minutes? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I answered their questions, and they asked a lot about like religion and spirituality and church. And they said, you know, have you ever attended the Baptist church? I said, no. Do you attend church? And I said, no. Have you ever attended church? And I said, yes, when I was a kid. Did you enjoy it? Yes. What did you like about it? I said, I like the community. I always felt connected. And then they said, how often do you pray? And I said, every day. And as they're filling out the forms, they kind of stop, and, you know, I could see that there was like a little, like a in their thinking, because they're like, okay, she doesn't go to church. And then they said, do you believe in God? And I said, well, yeah. I said, I believe in Spirit Source Creator God. Like, I call it something different. And again, they're like, you know, because it's a different way for them. It's something outside of what their normal is. But for me, I still connect and pray and do all those awesome things. I haven't found here in Ontario a community place that gathers like I did when I was in California. Agape, I love. A lot of you that know me, I've talked about Agape, International Spiritual Center that Michael Beckwith runs. I love that place. That was my, you know, if there was a physical place or temple to go to, that was the place that I went to. But I haven't found that here in Barrie. And so your spiritual practice is for you to create. And I would say if you have one that works, keep doing it, just engage in it more. If you don't have one, start playing and dabbling and exploring different ways that let you feel connected and lit up. Some people feel lit up by traveling. Some people feel lit up by smelling flowers. Some people, I just see a bird and I'm like, yay! You know, there's so many ways. That's all part of your spiritual practice. That's all part of your spiritual journey. So it could look different, and I'm sure it does for every one of you, but you have to have a spiritual practice. You have to have some sort of spiritual foundation. It is absolutely essential. Of all the things that I have explored and left, and, you know, it's the one thing that is my foundation. It is the one thing that is absolutely essential for everything. Everything. Okay. Next thing. Well, it kind of ties into the next thing. Spiritual connection is everything. And so when you have that practice, that spiritual connection, it's about working it into your daily life. Some people, you know, think, okay, I have to have this big spiritual practice where 3 times a day, I have to meditate for an hour each time. And I'm like, I don't have time to meditate for 3 hours a day. I just really don't. I mean, I could say I have more than enough time and I could create that. But realistically, if I want to engage in some of all the other amazing things that I love to do, that's not realistic for me. So make it realistic for you. Fit it in. You know, there's ways to fit it into your world, whether it's a 5-minute walk outside, whether it's while you're brushing your teeth and you're consciously communing with the divine, whether you're taking a shower and you're just being mindful of your thoughts and you're focused on that spiritual truth, whether you go outside. Reba, you on our retreat, Reba danced her ass off on our retreat. Even when we weren't dancing, she was dancing, and she inspired so many people because that's what she loves to do. And her dancing on the beach inspired all these other people to want to get up and move and find freedom within themselves too. So that's the other cool thing, is if you're living your spiritual practice in your day-to-day life, you will inspire and light up other people. You will actually create a wave of inspiration so other people pick up and lift up too, which is freaking awesome, right?
Mm-hmm. I'd love to hop in there if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I've been getting a lot of like feedback on lately. And there have been like times, and especially in the past couple of months, where I'm like, am I really living my truth? Is it really coming out right? And it's interesting because when I was just like stepping into the space of I trust that what I'm doing is helpful for me. I trust that what I'm doing is my learning, and I'm trusting that right now I'm going to choose to connect with whatever is most helpful and nourishing for me. And within a week, I had like 15 different emails or Facebook messages about being like, I can't make it to this event that you're doing. It looks really cool, but like, I just think you're so inspiring and amazing, and all of this like praise and just love for what they see and the authenticity that I'm creating. Exactly. And I think when we step into that, and when we connect with that soul, divine, nourishing self that we have access to, that people see that and they feel that, even if they don't necessarily mention it, or it's not something that you notice, it's something that the world notices.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly it. And while we're talking about this, actually, I want to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, because I know that like you've had some of the most challenging spaces to move through as well, in terms of being happy and feeling happy and all of that stuff. And so as you allow yourself to move through all of that, what are the top things that you bring in that let you feel happy, or that bring happiness into, I know dance does, and movement.
Yeah. Well, sure. That's already been mentioned. Dance that's a given. And I think, but really realizing how significant and important dance is to me. Dance isn't just the thing for me that makes me happy. That's the way that I connect to healing. That's the way that I connect others to healing. That's the way that I connect to all that is and ever was. Like, dance is this really sacred space for me to connect with all of me. And like you were saying, everyone has a different thing that'll tap them into that. Maybe it's like playing in mud. Maybe it's sculpturing. Maybe it's like connecting with a specific tree every day or once a week or for 5 minutes in the morning. But it's really creating that kind of practice around whatever that like thing is that lights you up.
Yeah.
And as someone who used to often tell the story of like depression and that kind of story, realizing how much power I do have within that to honor the emotions that are coming up and recognize them, say, hey, I see you. It sounds like you're sad. I wonder what could help you be happy. Do you really just want to be listened to, or do we need to do something? And more times than not, source creator God is like, do the happy thing, connect with the happy thing. Listen to maybe if there's a quick lesson in the sad, but like move on, evolve up into the joy and the vibration of love. Because at the end of the day, what I've understood, what I've learned through this journey is that that's our baseline. That's where we're supposed to be. That's our natural when we allow it to happen, when we create spaces for ourselves to tap into that. So 100%. Remembering that is super important for me. And sometimes if I wake up and I'm not remembering that, I'll be like, I have to get up. I just and I go into that space. instead of like my next tool, which is one of my keys, is stepping into gratitude first thing in the morning. And the first thing that I say is, I love my bed. Yeah. Oh, this is so wonderful. I get to wake up in my bed and I'm all covered in cuddles, and there's a cat usually cuddling me, and she just climbed up here to say hi. So usually there's something like that for me to connect with joy, to connect with gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness for this life adventure that I get to have. And yeah, maybe there are things in my day that I'm not going to absolutely love. Working on creating even more and more and more of those. Mm-hmm. However, the other piece of that is having one thing a day that I plan and I like create time for, that I love. Whether it is that spiritual practice and that dance, or there's something else that I want to connect into with the community, or with sound healing, or any of the other like really nourishing bits and pieces for me, or partner dancing. Partner dancing is like really special niche treat for me when I have the time and the energy to dive into that. So yeah, finding the thing that just absolutely lights up my soul, stepping into gratitude first thing in the morning, and planning something every day to look forward to. Yeah. And then continuing to build on that until you just like look forward to the entire day.
That's exactly it. I'm so happy that you shared that. And I'm really happy to hear that you're releasing from that story set, because I know you and I talked a lot about that before. And I think that that's really important, because I think there's a way to still be able to help people and be of service through what you've gone through without, it's like rehashing all of that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like get the gifts and go, you know? Yeah. 100%. Thank you so much, Reba. I really appreciate that. Such good wisdom. Mm-hmm. And I love that you brought up the gratitude, because that's my very next thing actually that I wanted to mention to everybody is gratitude goes a long way. Gratitude is essential for waking up happy. And like what Reba was saying, right at the very top of the day, as soon as your eyes open, as soon as they open, you do not grab your phone first. You do not jump out of bed first. You do not even let the mind start reeling about, holy crap, I got to do all this. You start thinking about your mental list. No. Even if you have to wake up and go to a job or work and your alarm goes off, you hit your alarm, you turn it off. Even if you're using your phone for your alarm, you turn it off, you pause for a second, you take at least a minute. Doesn't take long, a minute. If you want to extend it to 2 or 5, great. But 1 minute at least, where you're just being in that space of gratitude for anything that exists. Like this morning, for example, I did the same. I've done this every morning for, I want to say at least 10 years, probably 12. Gratitude is like it's the consistent practice that I've done every morning. And the occasional times that I forget, those are the days where they have little blips in them. So like this morning, Arya woke up. She woke up a little bit earlier, and I said to Gabriel, I would just love to lay in bed just for another like 20 minutes. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So he took her. I lay there. Even if she's in bed with us, I still do it. Even while she's like giddy and she's excited, she's raring to go. She's so excited for the day. I watch her and her joy for the day. And that's the other thing that Reba mentioned is having joy for your day, you know, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, but the gratitude, like, for example, I my eyes, I looked out the window and I was like, oh my God, it's sunny. So I was like, it's beautiful. I'm so grateful for the sunshine. I'm grateful for the blue skies. I'm grateful for the summer air blowing into our room. I'm grateful for Gabriel being able to take Aria. So I have an extra 20 minutes in bed today. I'm grateful for Aria being in our world and her happy little smiling face, even when she's covered in blueberries, you know, and I ran through like all the things. I'm grateful for my clients. I'm grateful for the work that I do. Like there's so much when you really start that practice. There's more and more and more and more things to be grateful for. It's infinite as to what we can be grateful for. And that gratitude opens your heart. It creates an energy flow. It creates the connection to the divine again. And all of a sudden, your perception, your view of the day completely changes. And it doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. And having something to look forward to, like the joy of the day is the next thing. So Reba, you're like totally on point with, you know, what I have here that I wanted to share with everybody, because getting excited about something in your day. It could be anything. It could be, even if, I remember when I worked at the Ministry of Health, I definitely did not get excited about working a corporate job and going into the ministry. I did not get excited about that. But what I did get excited about was all the people that I got to see that day. And I got excited about lunchtime and how I could go sit in Queen's Park under the trees and have lunch in nature, you know? Those are the things that I got excited about. Now, I mean, I'm definitely living a life where I feel very aligned. And so I have a lot that I get excited for. And I think that having something that you can create is really important. I think I mentioned this earlier. The days where I didn't feel happy, the moments, the weeks, the months I didn't feel happy were definitely the times where I wasn't creating, where I wasn't excited about life and I was feeling stagnant and stale. So it could be anything. Create anything. It could be something related to your work. It could be something not related to your work. It could be something personal. Like, I'm excited. I'm creating a garden in our backyard. I'm excited to get up and garden, you know, like it could be something so simple like that, right? Let it be what calls to you, and and get excited. Thanks for the snaps. I love it. But get excited about the day. Get excited about life. My gosh, like there's so much to get excited about. We're here to live. Like, I watch Aria, she's only a year and she's excited about everything. It's that childlike wonder, right? To just explore the world. How do you want to explore the world? How do you want to explore your space? So let yourself get excited, you know? And the other thing, this kind of tunes into it that I wrote down here, is think about something that lights you up. You know, like if you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I've got this deadline, or I've got this thing that I have to do, or whatever it is you have to face, just stop the track, stop the negative thinking track, because how you set your intention at the top of your day sets the tone for your whole day. So change tracks, get excited, think about something that lights you up, even if it's not in your physical day, even if you're like, I don't know if ice cream is going to be a part of my day today. If you get excited about ice cream, get excited about ice cream. Be like, I love ice cream, you know, whatever it is, right? And you never know, you may end up attracting and manifesting and creating ice cream to be a part of your day. Like, that's just how it works, right? So let something light you up from the inside out, and that energy will, you know, wave through your entire day. Okay, next tip is being able to, oh, and by the way, once you do those things like the gratitude, and then you get excited about your day, or you think about something you want to create in your day, or you think about something that lights you up, you're literally creating a positive momentum within inside of you. So the moment your feet touch the ground, there is a wave of goodness right from out of the gates that starts flowing with you. So all of a sudden you're in the shower and you're like, you know, and you're like, oh, I feel so good. You know, and you look outside and you're like, oh, look at it, sunny, and the birds are singing me a song. And then you get into your car and you're like, oh my God, it's like my favorite song today. You know? And then you go and then somebody's like, oh my God, I bought you coffee. You're like, oh my God, amazing. Like, this is literally how your day could unfold just by setting that first little bit in your morning. It sets the tone for your whole day. So how do you want your day to be? You gotta start right out of the gates, right from the top. Then throughout your day, because again, you know, we talked about this, life happens, crap happens, things come at us from all different angles. We have to be able to choose to not overreact to that stuff and to redirect our thoughts continuously throughout the day. So let's say, you know, there's a trigger that comes, or someone pisses us off, or somebody yells at us, or somebody cuts us off in traffic, or if you have a boss that yells at you, or whatever, or, you know, something happens, right? You have to be willing to redirect your thoughts and be like, okay, regardless of what's come, regardless of how this is affecting me, let me shift my focus. Where do I want to be? How do I want to feel? I choose happiness. I choose happiness. I choose happiness, or I choose peace, or I choose peace, or I choose love, or I choose compassion. You have to be willing to redirect your thoughts throughout your day. This is going to help you keep the ego mind at bay and not overreact to the stuff that does come. And then the last major thing that I have for you, well, there's two things. Before bed, you have to consciously connect in some way to the divine, consciously commune with the divine, call it prayer, meditate, whatever you want to do, to go back into the space of gratitude, run through your day, and don't think about all the crap that went down in the day and all the stuff that went wrong and all the stuff that hit the fan. You got to leave that. This is like what I was talking about earlier. You got to leave that at the door. That's just part of your day's history. Do you really want to rehash that? Do you really want to relive that? I don't want to. I don't want to bring that into my sleep so that my subconscious can recreate that for tomorrow. I want to think about, what were the awesome things that happened today? What am I grateful for again? So it's even ending your day with gratitude. Thinking about, okay, what am I grateful for? What was one thing that just totally lit me up? What was one thing that I felt so great about? Yesterday for me, it was the flowers. Like I loved smelling the apple blossoms. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for allowing us to have apple trees in our backyard. Like, you know, something so simple. It doesn't have to always be the grandiose things. It can be the small things. The small things, I think, are the things that are more tangible for people. And having that divine communication, prayer, meditation, whatever you want to call it, to end your day. It sets the tone for your mind. It clears yourself from all the stuff from the day. And then you go into a really beautiful sleep. Your subconscious mind doesn't have as much crap to mull over and process. It actually goes, oh, the last thoughts I had were happy and gratitude. Excellente. And all of a sudden it readjusts your whole inside, your DNA, everything starts to change. And then tomorrow when you wake up, it's even easier to start that day. It's even easier to do that practice again. So it does get easier, right? And the other thing, the last thing that I have on there is getting support. So I think that this is really important. I think that sometimes we isolate ourselves. I think sometimes when we're going through our stuff, we forget that we have people around us that actually do care about us and love us, and that all we have to do is plug back in, whether it's plugging into the divine or plugging into a community or plugging back into things that allow us to feel aligned, thinking about places we felt aligned, thinking about spaces that allow us to feel good and re-enter those spaces. So whether that's a yoga class, whether that's something like this, whether that's a community or circle you're a part of, whether that's a community, something that you used to be a part of that let you feel good. It's so important to get support, because I think one of the worst feelings is feeling isolated and alone. That's not a joyful thing. I remember the times where I felt really crappy. It was when I felt very isolated. And we came here to experience life with other people. We didn't come here to experience life alone, or else, I always say this to my clients, you'd be on a mountaintop by yourself or some continent by yourself and no one else would be around you. That's not the case. So you got to get support, right? And yes, let me just say, oh yes. And then, you got to have, like, for me, I have my daily plugins. I have my go-to things. I even go to my own recorded meditations, because sometimes the stuff that gets channeled through there, I'm like, what? I have this happen almost every time I teach, where something will fly out of my mouth. I'm like, oh my God, that's so brilliant, And so I have my go-to things. I have, I listen to Jerry and Esther Hicks, The Vortex, Abraham work. I listen to that whenever I have a really low, cave moment. I have those things. I talk to Gabriel. I have people in my world that I go to, that I talk to as well when I'm feeling low and I'm feeling like, what the F is going on? So it's important to have those plugins, whether it's here or whether it's here, plug into something that feels really, really good. All right. So I want to share some more from some of the people that, in terms of happiness out there. And for those of you who are here live with me, if you have anything that you want to share in terms of how do you wake up happy, or how does this feel for you? Or is there any refinement? Is there any question? Is there any thought that you have about this? Can you guys still see me okay? Because the light's coming up over the top. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to have some bright sunlight here in a minute, so I'm going to have to shift gears. Okay, so Reba, since I can see your beautiful shining face, I have two more questions for you. In terms of support, what are some of the things that you do? Because that's kind of where we left off on this. What are some of the things that you do or have done in the past that have helped you stay connected in the support ways? Because we know already what your practices are. What about the support?
So you've been one of my magical supports, whether I'm investing in a session with you or I'm doing trainings with you, like those moments have been really powerful for me. So connecting with a healer, a spiritual teacher, someone who you really appreciate the message of, that uplifts you. There are some interesting teachers out there who may not give you the message that uplifts you, and you may find that valuable, totally fair, but really connect with the teachers who uplift you, and you can connect with that lifted state, because that's really important to connect with that. And even if you're just tapping into their Facebook posts, I know for a little while I was like, I'm saving up for a session with Tara. I'm so excited for this one to happen. And I'm going to tap into her Facebook posts while they're happening. And there are a lot of really cool, really bright and awesome people who are like posting in like really accessible ways to connect with that upliftedness. Other ways that I get support is by calling a friend. And I know this is like the line from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but it's so true. Call a friend, call someone who you appreciate, who you love, who loves you, and just have a conversation. Maybe just like sending them gratitude. I know for me, I make one of my like practices and one of my like support needs is that I need to connect with someone who's spiritually connected and loving towards me every day. Yeah. And I make that happen, whether I see them in person or I give them a call. That's something that's really important to me because it reminds me that I'm not alone.
Yes.
And I think that was a story that I told a lot. And I think that's a story that we're all taught to teach a lot in relationship, in career, living alone in houses, like all these different kinds of things. We're taught to be really individualized and in our own worlds. And we get really stuck in that instead of being expansive and realizing that we came here to connect. And we 100%. Came to grow and learn and evolve together. This isn't a solo journey. This is for all of us to create together. So yeah, having conversations with dear friends, other spiritual badasses, or people who tap into that way is super important to me. And then community events. So for me, I've been a part of creating a sound healing community in my town. So every Sunday-ish or every other Sunday, we're connecting, and I have singing bowls, and I've stepped into one of my callings as a sound healer to start singing and bringing sound and music and that healing of vibration of music to people. And meeting up with them every week is one of the highlights of my week because I'm connecting with numerous people who are into the same things as me. And then it really reminds me that I'm not alone. It's like, oh my gosh, there's a whole communities of people who want to evolve and grow and feel connected and feel loved. And then the next step for me was going to ecstatic dance. And this was like, because dance and me. And there are some really cool facilitators in Toronto that do like spiritual badass ecstatic dance, where you start off with like a cacao ceremony and we're celebrating chocolate and the spirit of like this like plant medicine of chocolate, and it's beautiful. And then we dive into dancing for hours, and then we end with a sound bath with crystal bowls for half an hour. It's magical, and the community there and the space there has no judgment. It's all about love. It's called the Big Love. And now I'm bringing that to Kitchener-Waterloo. I'm making the Big Love happen in my hometown. So creating the spaces or tapping into the spaces that are happening in your world where that community is has been super, super important for me. And I think it's super, super important for human beings. Yeah. We thrived in villages and we thrived in community. And somewhere in our like Western ideas, we forgot that and we stopped engaging in that. And I think that it's really important for us to start stepping into sacred community again and realizing how much stronger we are together.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's something that's come through for me over the last little bit too, is reigniting my goddess gatherings in Toronto, which I used to do like 12 years ago. And the importance of community and gathering, you know, Andrea and Jess are both here too. They're part of the channeling circle. That's one thing that I've heard from them too, is having that sisterhood, having that community to connect. It's so important, you know, and I think we get to inspire one another. I think we get to uplift one another when we have that connection, we have those regular touch points, because we know life, there's stuff that comes. It's not always so fun. And by having those places we can go where it's like, you just feel for a moment held, and you feel for a moment that it's okay, and you just feel connected again, you know, it's so important. And I love how through these things they've inspired you to take that and wave it forward into your world and what you're creating, which is awesome. I want to share with everybody, because then I'm going to ask Andrea to share if she's open to it. But I want to share a couple photos here that we had of Reba when we were in. Can you guys see this? I don't know if you can see it. Yes? Okay, good. So this is one of the pictures that we had of an amazing photographer, Catherine, who was on our retreat with us. And she took some pictures of everybody. I have another one here that I want to share, because I just felt like there was so much joy. How do I unshare now? New share. Okay. There was so much joy in this photo session that Reba had that I had to share. I just had to, because it was, you know, one of those beautiful, let me see if I can get this other one up. Okay, good. Here's the other one. Can you see that one? Yeah? No? Let's see. Share screen. Okay, let's try that. Now can you see it? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So like there was just such beauty and such like goodness. And like that was watching what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, right? Like there was so much beauty and so much awesomeness in this. And and that's what comes from being able to really be in your flow and have that practice. Like that was one of the beautiful things about a retreat, right? Is that you get to have those touch points intensely, and it plugs you back in. And then it's to take that into your world so that you can integrate that day to day. And I'm really happy to hear that you've done that, Riva, that you've really, you know, taken so much of what you've experienced, so much of what you've learned, so much of what you've grown through, and you're integrating it into your world, and you're sharing it now as a healer and a teacher in your community.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you. I feel gushy now and all happy and loved up. And what's really cool about that photo shoot was it inspired a whole like creative process for me around what does it look like for women specifically to like have someone take beautiful photos of them in a bikini on a beach in beautiful spaces. It ended up being a big piece of what helped me create my program, Badass Body Love. For what does it look like in a world that's where we're taught that our bodies are weird or ugly or fat or this or that, to like just honor the amazing vessel and adventure suit that we come into this life with.
Yeah.
And it's been really powerful to really connect with that and see that.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you. I love it.
You're so welcome. I need to run away, wonderful.
Okay, no
I
problem.
have a baby bunny that's 2 days old that I'm working to heal and love up. So I need to go feed them. But yeah, connect with the practices that light you up, as Tara is saying. Amazing. And I'll be tapping in for the meditation later. But
perfect.
Go enjoy that.
Have so much fun with the little bunny.
Will do.
Okay, bye. Love you. Andrea, do you feel like sharing at all? Are you still awake over there in Australia? Let's see if I can hear you. Let me see. Oh, there. Andrea, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
I'll
be totally honest. I gapped out for a little while.
That's
and I was
okay.
So I'm actually really happy for you to share what I sent you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to share your picture here too, because you just have such a beautiful light shining through. So I'm going to share on behalf of Andrea. Oh my God, there's a chipmunk. I haven't seen a chipmunk in Barrie ever. There's a real little chipmunk in our backyard. I'm so happy right now.
Yes.
Simple things. Okay, Andrea, you continue to rest and chill and receive over there in Aussie land.
Love you. Thank you.
Okay, love you too. Okay, let me screen share so that you guys can see this beautiful, beautiful goddess. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys can see that. And I'm just going to read some of the things because I asked Andrea a couple questions because I really wanted her to, be a part of this and give some of her insight. So I asked her what was the number one thing she does to stay happy, and to wake up happy. And she said, number one key is to meditate first up, first thing, right? And set my mind right for the day. If I have any worries or concerns come up during meditation, to reframe them in such a way that I imagine a positive outcome instead. Essentially, I intentionally create my day and use positive thoughts and affirmations to help embody the qualities I would like to be or experience on that particular day. I find my day goes much better when I consciously do this. I totally agree with you, Andrea, because having that conscious intention instead of just letting life haphazardly kind of unfold. There's so many studies out there now that talk about being able to consciously create your day and the power of that so that it doesn't just unfold in some random, wacky, whatever way. I think that is brilliant. So yes, consciously creating your day using positive intention and of course meditation. And one of the other questions that I asked her was, what do you do to stay aligned, connected, happy? So she said, to stay aligned, connected, and happy, I meditate every morning. I watch spiritual videos on YouTube at least a few times per week. I participate in Tara's weekly ladies channeling circle. Thank you. I surround myself with positive and awake people as often as possible, and I make sure that I am choosing the experiences I love and spending my time doing things that are aligned with my heart. my favorite way to help make wise decisions from my highest self is to ask, what would someone who loves themselves do? Absolutely. You know, this question I love so much. Andrea brought it up at one of our retreats in Barbados. And it's just such a powerful way to look at how you would work or move in the world, but in a very soft, easy, flowing, non-threatening way. Because sometimes if we're like, okay, how do I want to be? You know, there's all sorts of things, but then the ego self is there. And if you ask yourself that question, what would someone who loves themselves do? Then all of a sudden you take the energy off yourself, you're putting it over there, and you're seeing, how would I treat that person? Or how would I respond to that person? And it gives you some indication from a very clear place as to who and what you would be or how you would treat yourself. And I love that. I also, Gabriel and I always have spiritual videos going on YouTube regularly in this household. And I've already mentioned how much I love the channeling circle. It really keeps us connected as a community. And yes, and I love the fact that you said you love spending time doing things that are aligned with your heart. I think that that's really, really important. And one of the other questions I asked her, which ways have I personally been able to assist in her soul's journey? And she said, you've assisted me big time by bringing to light my blind spots, the things that are holding me back, that I have had a hard time being aware of or objective about. There have been two big key issues in my life that have so lovingly pointed out to me, that you have so lovingly pointed out to me, that has made a big difference in me being able to be conscious of my old patterns. And as a result of knowing that, I have been able to deal with those things much more quickly. Thank you, my beautiful soul sister. So good. And this picture that I'm sharing here of Andrea is from the Barbados retreat. It was such a powerful, powerful time. It was just so beautiful. The whole thing was just so beautiful. So thank you so much, Andrea. I really appreciate it. I know that you're in another time zone and doing your thing. I'm trying to unshare my screen here. I've got all these windows open. It's crazy town. Okay, that helps. All right, stop sharing. Okay, you guys should be able to see me now. And I'm just going to readjust my computer because this. Okay, so you should still be able to see me clearly, I hope. Let's see if there's any questions. All right, just saying thanks so much. I will check back later. Got to take a friend to the airport. Love you, Tara. Hugs and kisses. Special. Oh, hugs and kisses and thanks to all. Make it a great day. That's awesome. Thanks so much, Jess. I really appreciate it. And even for anybody who's listening to the recording, if you're listening to the playback, feel free to send me or email me any questions or thoughts that you might have about anything that we're talking about. I really love engagement, and I love being able to answer the questions that you guys have. So let me just close down some of these windows that I have open here. All right. That I can close. Okay, perfect. So I want to go into a meditation very soon with everybody that's going to help you guys kind of tune in, clear house, be able to connect to the higher self again. But I want to mention before we do that, so for all of you that are here, whether you're live or whether you're listening to the playback, I do have some special, we've been talking about support. So I do have something really awesome that I want to share with you guys in terms of getting that support. So if you feel like you want to be a part of a sisterhood or a circle or a community or something that helps you stay connected, plugged in to truth, plugged into the higher self, plugged into all that awesome stuff that we've been talking about, that we've been sharing, I hope you guys really are feeling the support from this community. It's such a loving community. I feel so grateful for the women and the men that I have a part of our world. So much love, so much goodness. So I do have something that I want to share with you guys very quickly. It'll take me about 4 minutes, maybe 3. I'm going to talk really fast, and then we're going to jump into meditation. So if you are feeling aligned with either me as a facilitator, some of the tools, some of the practices, some of the things that we've been talking about, if you feel like you want that extra soul support along your journey, I do have something that I'm going to make available to everyone for the next 24 hours. I've talked to my web designer, and we've adjusted some things on my soul navigation website. And it's going to be available for 24 hours. So I'm just going to put it out there, letting you guys know that even if you're listening to the recording. So one of the most powerful ways for us to continue to feel great and constantly have that awesome high vibe feeling is to be able to plug into high vibe content regularly, to be reminded as often as possible of the goodness, of the high life, of the support, to be reminded daily. And that was one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why I've created Soul Navigation. I don't know if you guys have heard about it yet, but it's something that's been in the works for a couple of years. It's finally come to fruition as of January this year. And it's an online streaming portal where there's videos, audios, meditations, tools, practices, teachings. Even Reba is one of the contributors. I've got 5 other contributors who are there that are mindful, conscious, high vibe. And it's kind of like other online streaming TV platforms, except it's got all the spiritual goodness, all the spiritual tools, all the spiritual practices. There are over 100 pieces of content in there right now, between tools, practices, meditations, everything you possibly imagine to help you stay aligned and connected. And just like with Netflix or YouTube, where you choose to go in whenever you want, whenever you need that pickup, that's how this system has been created as well. That you go in, you have a membership, you have your own login and password, and you get to choose. You get to choose and search whatever topic you want. If you're like, I need support with depression, you type in depression, any topic, any video, any audio, any tool, any meditation that's pertaining to that will pop up. Anything, money, relationships, conscious parenting, spirituality, meditation, health and well-being, mindfulness, business, conscious business. How do we take that higher self and bring it into our work in the world, even into our jobs? All of that, those themes are all within there, and it's really easy to use. It's an amazing platform. There's over 200 people that are already a part of it, and I just love it. I love it so much, because that was one thing that I realized I needed for myself was, and I love YouTube and I love Netflix. I love Netflix for the zone out times when I'm like, yeah, I just want to veg out, and like totally forget about everything else. And YouTube I go to for some spiritual tune-ups. And then I was like, I want to create something that's spiritually uplifting and spiritually tuning up people too, because I have a lot of amazing people in my community who have a lot of amazing things to share. And I have a lot that comes through all the time too. And I have so many audio, I have more audio and videos recorded. I probably have thousands recorded. And so I have this extensive library, and I'm like, how do I get this to people without constantly creating another course? And I was like, I'm going to create an online video audio streaming site. And so that's what I've created. And it helps with the distractions, right? Because day to day we have those distractions. So sometimes we need like an under 30 minutes. Sometimes we need like a 5-minute pick me up where we're like, okay, what is it I'm focusing on? And you put it on. You can listen to it in the car. You can listen to it on your radio. You can listen to it when you're taking a shower. You can listen to it before you go to bed. You can listen to it at lunch. You can stream from it anywhere, your computer, your phone, anywhere that you have Wi-Fi or, internet capability. And it's to help you stay plugged in, right? Because again, I know for myself, those times that I get distracted, I want to have something that I can turn to quickly that I know is high quality. I don't have to sift through, because that's the other thing I found about certain online platforms. You really have to sift through this stuff. Sometimes you put on something and you're like, whoa, this is definitely not what I thought it was going to be. This is definitely not what I want to be putting into my subconscious mind. So it really, it brings really high quality. There is no selling. It's complete content, no ads, no commercials. It's complete content. And it's something that you can just plug into whenever you want. And I found that it makes a big difference for me. I go on there and look at stuff and listen to stuff just to keep me back on track, especially when I'm falling off kilter, right? And so that is the main reason why I did create Soul Navigation. And the website, I'll give it to you guys now. It's www.soulnav, so soul, and then nav.com. I'll type it in the chat box as well, so that you guys have it there. www.soulnav.com. If you go on the site, did that post? I didn't know if it posted. I want to do to everyone. Okay, there. Okay. If you go on the site, you'll see on the main site, the regular prices are showing there right now, but this is the, amazing thing that I have for you guys. And I'm going to talk as quickly as I can so we can get into meditation because I want to honor your time. For the next 24 hours, normally the first level is $9. That is like really a good price. $9 a month is what the membership is. My earphones caught. And so I can't really lower that one much lower than that. I think that's a really great offer. And the value of that one is, what did I have here? I had to make notes on this one. It's listed on the website. I can't remember. I think it's at $49 or something like that. So that's $9 a month. And when I think about how much I used to spend on Starbucks in a week, I could have purchased probably 8 monthly memberships for the same price. The next level up. So if you decide that you want to go to the next level up and you want to have access to these master classes that I do regularly, I usually put invitations out there on Facebook and to my community through my newsletters and let people know if they want to take part. It's usually about $30 for people to take part in a masterclass, sometimes $50 depending on how long they are. So that 8.0 Soul Nav membership, it's normally on the site, you're going to see it listed at $67. But if you go to click buy now and you do that in the next 24 hours, I've taken off $20 from that. So it's $47 a month. And I'm going to honor that. If you choose to be a part of it for 6 months, I'm going to choose it and I'm going to honor that for 6 months. If you choose to be with us for 12 months, I'm going to honor the $47 a month for 12 months. So, and that membership level is actually valued much higher. I think it's valued at $149 or something like that. And then if you want to have some personal support, because sometimes people do love to have that one-on-one, they want to have, like Reba was talking about booking sessions. If you want to book sessions or you want that one-on-one support with me or a member of my team, the 1111 Soul Navigation membership, regularly, the value of it is actually $399. On the site, you're going to see that it's listed at $249, I believe. And the 24-hour bonus that I have right now is $200. So that all the details are there on the website. I'm not going to spend time talking too much about what each of those are, but I believe the 8.0 includes everything within the first 6.0, and then, the masterclass and all that good stuff. And then the 1111 includes one-on-one session per month, plus the master classes, everything in 8.0 and everything in 6.0. So if you go to the website, soulnav.com, everything's listed there in terms of the details. And that special pricing offer, bonus, whatever you want to call it, is only going to be up for 24 hours. So it's going to be readjusted. The web designer, Sarah, she's going to be fixing that Friday at noon. I might extend it to the end of the day because I know we're coming up to a long weekend in Canada. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I do have a friend of mine, she's keeping an eye on registration. So if anybody decides that they want to register while we're on the call or right now, go for it, because I want to officially welcome you if that's the case. And I'm going to just read and share one more thing before we go into meditation from Jess, because Jess was on the call and I really wanted to honor her time. I know she had to jump off. So I want to just honor what Jess had to say about her path to waking up happy. And I also want to hear from you guys too, for those that are on live. If you have your own practice of how you wake up happy, let me know. If you want to talk to me or you want to be on video or if you want to type it in the chat box, I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the key things that you do to wake up happy? What are some of the practices or spiritual practices that I've mentioned already that resonate with you that you might say, you know what, I'm going to try that and see if it fits. Because I love hearing from you guys. I love engagement. It helps when we get engaged. Community. So let's see here. I'm going to just pull up Jess because I wanted her to chit chat with you guys, but she had to go. Okay. Let me see. All right. I'm going to screen share so that you can see a picture of Miss Jess. She is a fantastic dancer. She lives in LA. She choreographs dance productions. So I hope you guys can see that. She choreographs dance productions. She's amazing. Love her. Met her years ago, right after I did my yoga teacher's training, actually. And when I asked her what the number one thing is that she does to wake up happy, for her, she said it's to be in alignment with my higher self, source, God, the multiverse, staying in gratitude and being the best Jess I'm meant to be, which is brilliant. Totally alignment with what we've been talking about. The second question I asked her was, what do you do to stay aligned, connected, and happy? And she said, I asked God or source to guide me to the knowledge of his or her will all day, all the time. I love that. I take time to notice things in nature and to find the humor and joy in everything. I stay connected to people that fill me up, as well as do activities that feed my soul, like dance, yoga, mediumship, channeling sessions, exercise, eating healthy foods, enjoying ice cream on occasion. See, exactly, ice cream. I love that. I try to be of service whenever possible as well. And I agree. I love that she touched on that, because being of service is a really easy and wonderful way to bring joy. If ever you're in a funk or ever you're feeling low vibration, be of service. Reach out and connect to somebody. Offer something to somebody. And when you do that, it takes you out of your stuff. It takes you out of whatever craziness you're going through. You step out of yourself for a second. You extend. And oftentimes it's joy or compassion or love or words of wisdom or something like that to someone else. You make a difference in someone else's life. You will definitely feel the effects of that. You would definitely feel better as a result of being of service for other people. I also asked Jess, what are the top ways that she's personally grown in working with me? And she said, gosh, you've helped me so much and in so many ways. Our first session brought me to tears because it was like this innate truth was pouring out that I knew I had in me. But then you knew things that I hadn't shared with you, which was amazing. You opened my eyes and heart to forgive myself on so many levels, to forgive others, and to align myself with Source. With your guidance and wisdom and inner knowing, I've been able to tap into my intuition deeper and remember who I am and who I'm supposed to be. We are spiritual beings living in the human form. You've taught me to trust myself, love deeper, understand more, and learn gently. Oh, I love that. Since I haven't read this yet, I just opened them up this morning, so I'm kind of blushing over here. Since I've known you, our friendship has grown, which has been such a joy. I've also gotten sober, and my life just keeps filling up with so many lovely experiences. Oh, I feel like crying. I got tears in my eyes here. You've helped me through breakups, family struggles, past hardships, difficult choices, loss of jobs, the celebration of new beginnings, and most of all, help me stay grounded while dreaming and living big with laughter and knowing that I'm meant to give and love. So I must love myself. Oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Jess. That is just so beautiful. She also said, now I have the tools to help me deal with life. I meditate and still listen to audio tapes from sessions in the past. In grad school, you helped me tremendously because I took one of your courses that help with the mind, relationships, anger, soul, body. This list goes on and on. I'm way more happier and at peace with myself and enjoy life so fully. When I'm down or struggling, I write and pray and meditate, use the tools from our sessions and classes. You are a goddess of a woman, and I am so blessed to have you in my life. Thank you so much for all that you are. Oh my God, thank you so much, Jess. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Geez, I like tearing up over here. Okay, let's see if I can unshare my screen. Whew. Ay, oy, oy, oy. So good. Can you guys still see me over there? Give me a thumbs up if you can. It's so amazing when we're able to connect with people and when we're able to, be of service and share in the ways that light us up. I think that's one of the greatest gifts that we have to give one another, actually, is being of service and being able to help each other immensely. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get yourselves set up for a meditation. So whether you want to sit or lie down, totally up to you. If you need to use the bathroom, I would definitely recommend doing that right now. Maybe grab a glass of water as well so that you have that handy. And we're going to go into meditation in just a second here. I just got a question. I'm multitasking to the umpteenth degree here today. What if I want to take advantage of the 1111 membership level for only 6 months and then maybe drop down to 6.0? Yeah, you could totally do that. You can definitely take advantage of the 1111. You can take part in any level of the membership for as long as you want. So if you want 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, however, if you want, infinite months, you can do whatever you want. You have total control over your membership. It's kind of like Netflix. If you decide you don't want to be a part of it anymore, you just go on and you cancel your subscription, or you can go in and change your subscription to a different one. So absolutely, if you want to do the 1111, have some personal support for the first 6 months, it says here, and then drop down to the 6.0, you can absolutely do that. No problem whatsoever. We created it so that you have freedom and flexibility. I got another, oh, yay, we just had somebody register. I officially want to register. What's the name? Morgan from Australia to 6.0. Thank you so much. You're up late. Thank you so much. I officially welcome you to the Soul Navigation 6.0. I hope you love everything in there. If you have any questions as you go through the content in there, please let me know. I'd love to hear what your experience is. There's another question here. How long does the membership last? Well, the membership lasts as long as you want to be a part of it. So if you choose, again, if you want to be a part of the membership for 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever you choose, you have full control over that. You get to choose. And that's what I love. I love giving people choice. I think it's way more empowering. There's one more question here. I like the 8.0 membership, but I'm not an entrepreneur. Would I still benefit from the business content in 8.0? Yeah, absolutely. We created the business content to be accessible to anybody, really. So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working a job, whether you're, a student, it's basically the teachings behind it is to take the higher self, all your awesomeness, and bring it down and into your life, into your work, how you show up in the world. So if you're a singer, how do you bring the higher self and bring it into singing? I work with, actually, I have a couple opera clients. Andrea actually has done Phantom of the Opera in Australia. And I have another girl who she's in, I think, Germany now, but she's a well-known opera singer. And so it was about bringing the higher self in and being able to shine and shower and show that in everything that she does, so when she's singing, she's not just singing, which is very powerful, but she's also bringing in those higher self teachings and the higher energies so that she's creating waves of transformation. Same thing, I have clients who are in the corporate world. I still have clients in government. And so we talk a lot about how do we bring the higher self, the spiritual self in to your day-to-day work, so that you're bringing the light wherever you go. So yeah, absolutely. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to enjoy the 8.0 membership. Plus you're going to get the masterclasses, which are so much fun. It's kind of like this. We do the masterclasses, except it's just pure content. And we do those once a month. So I think we're going to go into meditation now. I'm starting to feel the energy is kind of coming in. I see there's a couple other questions here. Let's just see. I think I signed up. Not sure. My computer is acting weird. Susan Weber, I'm going to congratulate you and welcome you. Yay. Welcome. Let me know if you signed up to 6.0, 8.0, or 1111. So exciting. Yay. Let me know how it works and what you think of the content. I have a whole bunch of new content that I actually have to upload tomorrow as we go into the long weekend here. Welcome, 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 Susan. I think I signed up, acting weird, 8.0. Yay, excited. You're going to love the masterclass. It's so much fun. I'm so excited. Welcome. I officially, if I could give you a big hug, because, that's one of the things I love to do. I love to hug people. So I would give you a really big hug right now. So I'm extending my arms through the airwaves, giving you a big, big hug and loving you up. Thank you. I just got a message here that Tanya, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the name because I have some Tanyas and Tanyas in my world, also signed up to 8.0. Yay! She says, excited to work with you one-on-one. Thank you for sending me that email. Fantastic. I'm so excited. We're going to have so much fun together and expand our community. Okay, let's see. There's one more question I'm going to answer. I'm going to give you guys another few minutes here to get set up, and then we're going to go into meditation. Sorry, I'm multitasking. Okay. I think it was just the glitch. Someone just trying to figure out the back-end system. Yeah, it takes a few minutes sometimes for the back-end system when people register for us to get notification on it. So no worries on that. I will definitely congratulate everybody in a message or something who's doing that. So excited. Oh, we got another, someone to the 1111, Sonia, not quite sure how to pronounce it. Thank you. So excited. And for those that are signing up for the 1111 as well, whenever you want to set up sessions, I'm going to send you an email and we can set up some times, or I'll send you some available times to do that. So, okay, I'm ready to meditate. I don't know about you guys. If you feel like you still want to sign up, there's time to do that. You have 24 hours and the prices everything's going to change again. But I'm ready to go into meditation if you guys are. So I would say get comfortable. I may turn off my video while we go into meditation here. And I'm going to plug in my other earphone just so that the audio is super clear. I'm going to turn off my video. And whenever you guys are ready, I'm going to have you just create that beautiful space for yourself right now, creating that quiet space wherever you are. Just turn off everything else, put down the computer, the phone, find that beautiful space where you get to just relax for a moment. And I want you to take a couple deep breaths, close the eyes. And with every inhale, I want you to take a really deep breath in. Let this breath be as if it was your first breath that you're taking when you wake up in the morning. And let the breath really expand your lungs, your chest, your heart. Allow everything to be open. And then with every exhale, I want you to really feel the body soften and relax. So with every inhale, really expand the breath, expand the chest, the lungs, the heart. Every exhale, just let everything go, let everything melt, become really present, really still. And just take another 30 seconds to just focus on the breath. Bring your awareness, bring your focal point just to your breath. Let yourself breathe, let yourself be. Let yourself find opening and stillness within the breath. Just let everything go. And now I want you to consider for a moment your whole history, your whole journey, everything that's ever gone on over time, your whole life, your experiences, this lifetime, other lifetimes, today, yesterday, the week that's passed. And just knowing that it's all a part of your history. It's all part of the past. It's all a part of that filling up that we were talking about earlier. And in this moment, I want you to imagine that there is a beautiful source of light and energy that's coming in through the top of your head. And this source of energy is straight from your soul, straight from source, that highest aspect of who you are. And imagine that light pouring straight through you. Imagine breathing it into your lungs, breathing it into your chest, breathing it into your heart. Feeling, seeing, imagining this light traveling all the way through you. Light traveling from the top of your head all the way down the center of your body, traveling down your arms, your hands, traveling down your core, your back, traveling down your legs, out your feet. And this light is here to support you, to nourish you, to hold you, to cleanse you. So collectively, we're going to set the intention for this light to release, clear, cleanse, and let go of all that we've been holding on to. Release and let go of all you know of yourself, all that you've picked up on over time, all that your subconscious has taken in that is no longer necessary. And simultaneously, I want you to use your breath, and with every exhale, imagine that you're breathing out this content. You're breathing out this excess energy, this excess stuff, the excess story. And while you're using the breath and you're breathing out this excess energy, breathe it out. Imagine that that light source that's flowing through you is cleansing, eradicating, releasing, removing, clearing on an energetic level, all of that stuff. We ask the higher self, the soul self, clear all that we've been holding on to. Clear the past. Clear the heaviness. Clear all the stuff that no longer serves me. I release and I let go. I breathe out. I release and I let go. I release and let go of all that I know. I release and let go of my history, the story. I release and I let go. Breathe it out. I release and I let go. Just continue to exhale, continue to breathe, allowing your higher self to do the work. Allowing the higher self to enter in, allow that light to flow through you. Clearing your body, clearing your energy field, clearing your consciousness, clearing your thoughts, clearing the emotions. Clearing on every level in the highest and best way for the highest and best good. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. I release all that's been holding me back. I release and I let go. And just take a minute in silence to allow this light, to allow this energy to cleanse and clear, emptying the vessel. Just take a minute in silence to do that. I release and I let go. And from this place now, I want you to begin to feel that emptying. I want you to feel that space that's being created within you. Every time we release and we let go, we take the time to breathe, we consciously let it all go. We're creating a beautiful space within us for new. A beautiful open space. It's like rebirthing. It's like cleaning out the closet or cleaning a garden. You make room for the new growth. So I want you now to bring your attention and your focus to something that lights you up. It could be anything. It could be a delicious espresso, chocolate, a flower, a baby, a pet, a rainbow, a butterfly. It could be something you want to create, something that inspires you, a place that you travel to. It could be anything. Take a moment, bring into your mind and awareness something that lights you up. And begin to see it in your mind. Imagine looking at it. Imagine maybe even being with that space or being in that space. And then really allow yourself to feel the joy, feel the essence, feel the energy and the emotion that bubbles up from within. That emotion is from within you. It's in response to something that your mind is bringing into your awareness. Whether it exists in physical reality or right in front of you, it does not matter. You have so much power within your mind to redirect, to recreate, to set the foundation and the tone for how you want to be and how you want to experience life. And if the mind brings up any distraction, refocus it, come back, recenter it on the thing that lights you up. And see yourself fully enjoying that thing. Allow your mind to take you there. Enjoy that essence. Enjoy the qualities of it. Allow yourself to fully feel the joy. Let it bubble up inside of you. Let joy and happiness and good vibes bubble up inside of you to the point that it might even bring a smile to your face. You might actually feel giddy inside. Let yourself be playful. Let yourself feel spontaneous. Be like a child, that childlike wonder, the childlike essence, discovering something with fresh eyes. It's the beauty of the child. He or she is free. He or she is experiencing life brand new with pure joy, pure wonder, pure exploration. Let yourself explore. I'm going to give you another minute to really feel and be a part of whatever it is that you're seeing or bringing into your imagination. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself explore it. Let yourself be in the childlike awe of whatever it is that you're in. And as you allow this vibration, this emotion, this energy to permeate through you, I want you now to feel it expanding out from you, knowing that you are generating this happiness and joy from within. You are generating a powerful field of happiness, love, joy, light. Imagine that it's expanding out through your cells, through your bones, through your organs, through every part of your physical structure. Feel this joy or allow this happiness, this bubbling, beautiful energy emanate out from every part of you, expanding out through your heart, expanding out through your mind, expanding out through your voice, expanding out through your hands. And imagine expanding beyond the walls of the room that you're in. Imagine expanding beyond the house or building that you're in. Imagine it expanding out into your community, the world around you. Imagine it this powerful force field of light, positivity, joy, happiness, goodness, high vibration, expanding out everywhere so that wherever you go, everyone is feeling it. They're being brought into the wave of what you are creating and cultivating. Imagine it like a powerful wave of joy and love waving out through the hearts and minds of everyone you come into contact with, transforming the world around you. In this moment, you are a source of joy. You are a source of happiness. You are a source of goodness. And just allowing your energy field to continue to expand. And just feel into that vibration for another minute. Just feel that energy. See that light, that joy wash through any situation, any scenario in your world. Let it wash through. And just holding that space for another minute, I want you to bring your awareness now into the space of gratitude. We talked so much about gratitude today. So before we fully come back, I want you to just run through all the things in your world that you appreciate. The simple, the big, everything. Just take a minute. to run through everything you're grateful for. And now bringing your awareness back into your breath, let every breath reflect that gratitude, reflect the joy that you've cultivated and created within you. And every exhale, allow the breath to flow down through your legs, flow down through your feet, grounding and anchoring this joy, this breath, this energy, this gratitude and appreciation right down into the earth. Just like a tree deeply rooting itself into the earth. Those roots create the strength. They create the stability, the foundation for which you get to exist. So let your foundation be that of joy, happiness, gratitude, appreciation, childlike wonder. In this moment, you are in perfect alignment. In this moment, you are fully aligned. Taking another deep breath in and release. Again, taking one more deep breath in and release. One more deep breath, stretching the arms overhead. For those of you in Australia going to sleep, if that's what you need to do, let your sleep be wondrous and peaceful. For those of us on the eastern side of the world, wiggling your fingers and your toes, stretching your arms overhead, bringing some movement back into your body. And then whenever you are ready, you can fully open your eyes, fully come back into your space. Take some water, stretch your legs if you need to. I'm going to restart my video here. Had to move around the table as the sunlight was coming through. And how's everybody feeling? Would love to hear from you, whether you're here live or if you're listening to the recording. Would love to hear how you're feeling and how that was for you. I know it was short and sweet, but I just wanted to bring it that way so that you didn't have to feel like meditation was hard or that the practice had to take long. It doesn't take that long to readjust yourself and to realign. It can actually be quite quick and quite easy if we just give ourselves the space and the time to do it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Drink lots of water today. You know, even as we've been talking, you guys have been clearing. That's one of the things that I like to do is channel healing and light and goodness and transformation through to you. So make sure you drink lots of water. And again, if you are looking for more support, if you want to be a part of this community continuously, I fully welcome you and would love to continue the journey with you. The Soul Navigation, soulnav.com website is there. It's for you, whatever you feel drawn to, if that's the support that you want to receive. I definitely say jump in, go for it, because it's an amazing platform and all the contributors that are there are fantastic. The tools are beautiful. They're easy. I feel like I have so much to be grateful for right now. Gabriel's blowing bubbles, which are like blowing into our yard. There's the chipmunk that was running around. I've had 2 yellow little birds flying around and butterflies. So this is what happens when we shift our awareness, right? When we come into that space of gratitude and love and joy, the world around us starts to reflect it. It starts to reflect what we're carrying inside of here. And that's what excites me. That lights me up. And so I'm excited to see how your day is going to transform, and try those practices. Oh yeah, I wanted to screen share with you guys because I do have, I can send this to everybody as well, but I created a little PDF if I can find it. There it is. I created a PDF that just the one pager that has all the information in terms of the points that we covered. So if you wanted to jot them down, you can quickly do that before we end our session today. Here we go. I hope you guys can see that. Yes, I think you guys can see it. I hope you guys can see that. Basically says wake up, the wake up happy at the top. And then it shows, choose something that fits into your life, make it work. So in terms of your spiritual practice, spiritual connection is everything. Gratitude goes a long way. You have to feel it though. That's the other thing. You can't just run through the gratitude list. You got to be able to feel it. That's the one thing about gratitude and appreciation. You got to feel it. And if it's just a mental thing, it's just a mental thing. Thoughts are thoughts. Emotion brings the oomph. It brings the energy and the goodness to it. So let yourself feel whatever you're grateful for. Upon waking, look at something or think of something that lights you up. Redirect your thoughts and flow throughout the day. Before bed, consciously connect and commune with the divine, appreciation for life. Relearn or rediscover to play. I totally forgot to mention that one earlier. I think relearning or rediscovering how to play is really, really important. Arya, our daughter, she's 1. She teaches me that every day. Yesterday I was in between trying to get a million things done. I was doing the dishes and making homemade popsicles and cleaning the house because we had guests coming over. And, I was doing a million things. And she was trying to show me something and I was like, oh my God. And she was like, took all some of my tarot cards out and she spread them out on the floor. I was like, oh my God, no, another one. And then she comes over and she hands me 2 of them. And I had to laugh, I almost cried because it was so spot on. One was the child. So be the child. So the childlike essence and tapping into the childlike essence of just let everything go. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to stress about. Be in the curious, the wondrous. And then it was love yourself like a child would. And the child knows the infinite, the divine, the connection. And so the card was to remind me of being able to love myself as the child, as the infinite, as the pure self would. And so she reminds me every day to play and to rediscover play. And even when things get serious and things get intense, she reminds me all the time to continue to play and continue to find the joy and the humor in things. And I think as adults, especially when life gets serious, I think we forget to do that. I think we forget about the playfulness. So I would definitely say do something that brings you play, that lets you play, that lets you be in that state of joy, because playfulness automatically brings you joy. So I'm going to give you a few minutes just to if you want to jot that down. Again, I can email that to you guys so that you have it as well. And I just want to make sure that I covered everything that I said I would today. I think so. If you guys do have any other questions about the soul navigation, about the work that I do, about the content we covered today, please feel free to email me. I'm always available to connect and chat and answer those questions. And if you are ready to jump on board and get the support, like I said, we've got this really amazing deal special going on right now for the next 24 hours for the soulnav.com site. So I would love to welcome whoever decides that they want to be a part of that. I'm going to stop screen sharing here so that I can say farewell to you all. Stop screen sharing. Let's see now. How do I do that? I think we're done screen sharing. I hope so. Let me just see here. I think you guys can see me. Yes, I hope so. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I thank you for taking the time. I know our masterclass went a little longer than expected, but I really want to thank each of you for taking the time in your day to be here. Thank even yourself for taking the time to be here. I know we all have busy lives, busy schedules, busy things going on. And so to take time out for self, for us, sometimes is a bit of a commitment. So I want to thank you and I want to honor you for being present, for showing up. And I hope that these tools, these tips, these practices make a difference in your world. It really takes the dedication, the commitment to do them every single day. That's really what it's about. It's like choosing something and stick with it every single day. I just got another notification here. We had somebody, bubbles. I hope you can see those. They just went past me. Yay, I love that, bubbles. They're so fun. I can hardly wait to go play. I'm going to wrap up the call soon, but I just wanted to welcome Cynthia to 6.0, Soul Navigation 6.0. Yay, welcome Cynthia. And we have somebody else, Scott, I think I saw here. Yes, welcome so much. Thank you to 8.0 Soul Navigation membership. I'm giving you all a really big hug. I want to thank you for joining us. If you're tuning in live, again, you can go to soulnav.com to be a part of it. And if I don't get a chance to officially welcome you here on the call, I will send a personal email myself to welcome you, because that's one thing that I love to do. If you're listening to the replay, same thing. You have 24 hours to take advantage of the special pricing that we have on the Soul Nav memberships. And I will also send you a personal email to welcome you. So I want to thank you again so much. I don't think the screen share showed. I only see you. Okay. You know what I'll do is I'll send you guys, I'll email. I have the ability to do that. Yes, I have the ability to do that. I'll send out the PDF that has the points on there, so you guys don't have to worry about scrambling and writing them down and that sort of thing. So I'll email that out to everybody so that you guys have access to that. And thank you for letting me know, Nanda. I hope that's how you pronounce your name, Nanda. That's a beautiful name, by the way. And I just got one more message. Joy signed up for 1111. What a beautiful name. I love it. Speaking of joy and happiness. Yay, excited to work with you and have you here, and we'll set up our sessions together. So I want to thank you guys. This has been so much fun. I love connecting in this way, and I love connecting with each of you. I love tuning in and feeling your essence and your energy and your goodness and your love. And I hope that today and every day can be a source of joy and be a source of happiness and love for all of you, because it's worth it. It's worth doing the practice, and let the practice be simple. That's one of the things that I always like to bring through is simple practices. Life is complicated enough as it is. Let's just keep it simple, right? And again, if you have any questions about any of the content, anything at all, please let me know. Oh, lovely site though. Thank you, Nanda. You're so cute. I love it. Thank you so much. And I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for engaging with me. Thank you for being a part of the journey. And I hope you have really, truly a magical, beautiful, awesome day. I hope you have a beautiful night's sleep for those of you in Australia and the other side of the world. And let happiness be here. Let it expand. Let it be a part of you. Take it into the day, and watch the world light up around you, where you get to see bubbles and chipmunks and birds and butterflies and all that good stuff. So love you, girl. Jess says, oh, thank you, Jess. I shared, is there anything that you want to share actually before we go? I know that you're here, and I know I wanted your voice to be a part of it. Is there anything you want to share? I can unmute you quickly before we go. If there is, just let me know and I can unmute you. I basically shared what those questions that I sent you, but if there's anything else that you wanted to add, I'd love to hear you. Let's see. I'm going to unmute you if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, it's nice to hear your voice.
It's so nice to hear your voice.
Oh, it's nice to see your face. You look lovely.
Good morning.
Good morning out there in LA.
Yeah.
Oh, you look lovely.
Oh, thanks. So do you.
Thank you.
What a great way to start.
It's so great. I got bubbles flying by me. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
You're playing with bubbles.
This just made my day. I hope everyone makes a great day. And thank you so much for all of your insight and wisdom.
Thank you. You're so welcome. Love you.
Love you.
Anything else that you feel called to share about happiness and joy?
I just love what you said about finding the playfulness and the humor. I really try to not take myself so seriously, and it's really helpful. So no, I don't really have anything. Everything you guys said,
Fantastic. It's so good. I love the humor and the joy. That's one thing I find whenever I have these key people in my world that I like to play with. And when I spent time with Jess in LA, we laughed a lot.
Yes.
I was pregnant at the time. We laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I cried too, but we laughed a lot. humor is a really big piece of it. So, take that joy and the humor out into your day and just spread it like wildfire,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
I'm going
good.
to sign up for the 8 or 11. I'm looking
Oh,
at it right now.
awesome.
So thank
Thanks,
you.
doll. So good. Mwah. And I can
I
hardly
love
wait to
you.
see you soon.
I know, Sedona.
I know. Good times.
Wait.
Good times.
All right.
Awesome. I love you.
Love you. Bye,
Okay,
everyone.
bye. And I'm going to say bye to everyone too. Lots of love, lots of hugs. And I hope you have a fantastic, fabulous, enjoyable day. I'll send out the recording to everyone and we'll see you all really soon. Lots of love.